Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. This is MMA Junkie Radio's pre-show, the show before the show. I am Ghost. To my left is MMA Junkie Radio's fight analyst, Dan Tom.
Really gonna introduce me first?
Yeah, I'm gonna, because best, best for last, whole thing.
Wow. All right, okay.
And then
I can live with that.
over here is Jet. No, I'm just kidding. In New York is Danny Okers. He's been producing the show for a very long time. And next to us, I just found out that she really likes Cheetos. Or Cheeto Vera, one of the two. It's just
maybe both.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Because you didn't use the song that you could have used.
I know. I just thought of it as I was saying it, because then I have to find it, and I took out that part and I used I put your name in it. Yeah, so it's totally weird. Do you ever watch the show New Girl?
Yes.
Okay. Danny lives in a situation just like that. Right, let's see if I can find it.
Do you actually, Danny?
I do. I live in a loft with other roommates.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So whenever Danny tells us a story about it, I force him to listen to this.
Hey girl, what you doing?
But the ending is the best part.
Hey girl, where you going? Who's that girl? Who's that girl?
It's Danny.
yeah. Then he has to tell a story about whatever's going on in his world.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying
sorry about that.
Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Ghost. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and Sirius XM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Race and Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, RA's co-host. To my left is the fight analyst, Dan Tom. Back east, handling all the producing duties, Danny Otto. And our special co-host for the day, it's UFC flyweight Jessica Rose Clark.
Hi, hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you
here. Appreciate
here.
you having me here.
Do you prefer Jessica Rose, or do you
Jessie.
go Jessie Jess, or
Jessie
just
is
Jessie?
fine, yeah.
Or how about Jay?
Jay.
Jay?
No, I'm not down with Jay.
J-Dog?
J-Dog I can do.
All right. No, seriously, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
And coming off a win a couple weeks ago, UFC Fight Night 124. That's
Yep.
how we call it at Junkie. Others call it UFC St. Louis. Over Paige Van Zandt. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a fun fight.
How do you feel like these next few days? Like, is it one of those where you just got like a bounce in your step, like after a win versus, when things come up short, versus a loss? How do you take these fights in stride? Win or lose? Give me both.
I don't know. I think I get more upset about wins than I do about losses, for some reason,
What are you upset about?
Like if there was stuff that I wanted to do in the fight, like a loss you're going to be upset about regardless, but then when you win, but there's still more that you wanted to do, like it's a really weird kind of hybrid of being happy but being upset at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like the week leading up to that fight was super emotional, so I think it's just been like this massive calm down. It's been weird.
The burglary.
Yeah. But I moved house and I got a pup and stuff like that. So things have been pretty good the last few days. I've finally been able to sit down and process the win, and yeah, it's been cool. And then I get to do stuff like this, which kind of helps it sink in a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a new pup?
Oh yeah, I got a blue cattle dog.
Okay. Name?
Blue.
Oh, Blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue dog. I was going to call her Dog because Mad Max has a blue cattle dog and its name is Dog, but...
Did you rescue or?
No, I bought her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was going to rescue, but then all the dogs were pits and I was I'm not very confident with pits, so I've always had blue cattle dogs. Yeah. Yep. Or like a Queensland healer, they call them. So I've always had cattle dogs growing up.
Easy to find here in Vegas?
No.
Okay.
No, but I've been looking at them for like a year. I was going to go to Cali to get one from a breeder, and then I found one here in Vegas, and she was so expensive, but I love her. She's cool.
Did you say Catalina or Cali for California?
Cali.
Cali, okay.
Cali.
Very cool. So it's a she and her name's
cute.
Blue.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Any luck in retrieving any of the valuables you lost?
No.
No?
No.
It's kind of a
nothing
done deal?
yet. I think they're still they found
'Cause you had a
fingerprints
description and
stuff.
everything.
Yeah, we had a description. We had description of vehicles. They found fingerprints. But I guess the fingerprints went on file, so they're going to use them for if anything else happens, But they've got I don't know, felony charges against them because they killed the cat and yeah.
Right, that's what I was going to say was you lost the cat, but you gained the dog, a dog, right?
Correct.
Okay, you planning on getting a cat?
I also got given a cat. It was about to get dropped at the pound, and I said, I'll just bring it around to my house.
Cool.
Yeah, so now I have a cat too.
What's the cat's name?
Sheriff.
Sheriff.
She's so annoying. She's the most annoying cat I've ever met in my life. But
What does Sheriff do that's annoying?
she's just she's super affectionate, which was why they were getting rid of her, because they're like, oh, she's too affectionate.
Yeah.
She kept me awake all night, and she sucks on her paw, but she'll do it right next to my head, so she'll be nuzzling into my head and sucking on her paw, so all I can hear is that sucking noise all night. She's cute though, she just wants love.
And how long have you had the dog?
A week.
Do they get along?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Does
They're
the
pretty
sheriff
cool.
run the house? Or?
No. Blue's for sure in charge, but she's hyper, because Blue's 10 weeks old, so she's all about super energetic all the time, and Sheriff tries to be a friend, and Blue's kind of a bit too much for her, so they'll play a little bit, and then Sheriff runs away and goes up in a cat tower because Blue's trying to eat her. But they're pretty good. They want to be friends. I can see they want to be friends. They're just still trying to figure each other out. Yeah.
Sheriff, meet Blue. Blue, eat Sheriff.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, you said sometimes the wins have you a little bit more upset because you wanted to do more. So,
yeah.
Can I just jump to a conclusion that you wanted to finish? Most fighters do.
Yeah.
And then any other strategies that you can share? I didn't get to show off A. Is that something you keep in the vault, or is there something you can open up and tell us that you wish you could have done?
No, in this fight, I wish I had use my striking a lot more, I wasn't feeling physically the best on the night, which is one of the reasons why I grappled so much, because I know I can keep grappling and just kind of use that to conserve energy a little bit more. So I'm disappointed that I wrestled as much as what I did because I liked to strike. But obviously that still won me the fight anyway. So it's catch-22. It's hard to be upset about it, but I'm still upset about it. Yeah.
Was there anything about her that surprised you in the fight?
No, not at all.
You
Maybe how little she was, because there was one part where I had her in a triangle, and I'm used to training with dudes who aren't as narrow and petite as what she was. So a dude would have been asleep in that triangle, but she was so little and compressed. I felt it was weird. It was hard to get my angles, and that was probably the only thing. But just made me realize I got to kind of grapple with girls a lot more.
And a fight like this, did you? I mean, it's probably an obvious answer, but did it pay off as well in that she does have some popularity to her, and you just beat her. And in pro wrestling, sometimes they'll say, fighter A put fighter B over. It's a term. Now you have a little bit of maybe her traction.
I don't know. The people that are on her side are pretty hardcore about her. I gained a lot more fans and stuff. Obviously my social media went up, and people have been way more interactive since the fight, which is cool because I like talking to people, and I like talking to the people who support me. So that's been a lot of fun. But I don't know. I don't know. It's been hard. I didn't really expect anything out of it anyway. So I guess everything's been a bonus. Coming on this, other little bits of media that I've been able to do, the other people that I've met, it's all been really cool. But I guess no one ever really is going to overshadow her, no matter what happens. You know, no matter how they win, no matter
What's this right here? A
Which
tier?
one? It's an anchor.
An anchor. Okay, it is an
Yeah,
anchor.
yeah.
All right. Does that represent anything?
Not really.
No? Okay.
I dated a guy with face tattoos for a while, and he kind of took away the taboo side of face tattoos and convinced me to get my first one, and then
But the anchor doesn't stand for anything. And it has nothing to do with Australia or down under.
No. In like traditional tattooing, which a lot of it comes from like the U.S. Navy, the captain used to get an anchor tattooed on him, but it's supposed to be on the hand, so just to signify that they're the ones in charge. That was kind of my reasoning behind it, but it's really that I just liked it. I wanted an anchor, and I wanted it on my face.
Can you make up a story for her?
The anchor?
Yeah.
I used to tell people that I killed a sailor.
I had adversity that I overcame. And so what was yours?
I used to tell people that I killed a sailor once.
Oof.
That's
hard to top.
yours.
Never mind. I'll just shut up.
Yeah,
You win.
That should be
You
the
win.
story.
Yeah.
Do you want to make her instant fans really quick?
I do, yeah.
Watch this. What'd you have for breakfast?
Bacon, eggs, and toast.
There you go, man. That's a woman right there, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what were you guys giggling? I kind of got here at the very end, but was Danny making a giggle? Or what was the topic on the pre-show today?
Danny, do you remember what we were talking about?
We're talking about 80s music.
We were talking about 80s music, but the reason we were laughing right when George got here was my theme song.
Yeah, Danny's Loft.
Danny's theme song.
Yeah.
What's his theme song?
There's a show
This is
called...
when he enters the room, or is this for his show?
So when we were trying to do the music for her, we didn't want to do like the Men at Work and all that because we thought it was really, like a Fender.
Yeah, she'd probably walk out if we
But
did
it was
that.
80s Day. So, So that was one that we had picked out, and then we went, wait a minute, we can't do that. We can't do Jesse's Girl. And so anyway...
Has she heard of Jesse's Girl?
Yes.
Okay. Because you remember the other kid? Help me out here. The guy that, Dan Tom, he trains One Kick Nick, and he had a song. Oh, man, the slow song. We said, you should walk out to this.
Joey,
yeah. So it's Joey Riquette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had never heard of that. That's why I'm asking if Jess has heard of Jesse's Girl.
Yeah, this song's a little more popular. But anyway,
Joey's pretty popular.
Is it?
Yeah.
Compared to...
You know Joey Riquette?
Yeah, I
You've
know.
never heard of him?
No, the song.
Oh, no, I know the song Joey, yeah.
You do the
Yeah.
song Joey you think is bigger than the...
No, I'd say, like, I remember hearing it when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because he kind of gave me this look like, fool, you're tripping.
All right. So anyways, Danny, the show is about a bunch of roommates that live in a loft, and Danny lives in a loft. So every time he tells a story about his loft, I play the theme music to that song.
Mm-hmm.
But I tricked Danny. In other words, I told him we had to do a promo where he had to say something like, we're going to do picks, and only one person can win, and it's going to be Danny or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just clipped the "It's Danny" and substitute it for when the girl says it's Jess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a theme song of the show,
Mhm.
but it ends with Danny saying it's Danny. So I was playing that for her.
Can I
and
hear
she
it?
was giggling. Sure. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like? That's me buying time.
You want me to say stuff while you do that? I'll buy you time. Today's other guest will be Marlon Vera, Cheeto Vera. He's going to be fighting at UFC Fight Night 125 down in Belém, Brazil, and that, of course, takes place on February 3rd. And now this weekend is UFC on Fox 27, so it's the following weekend, and he will be traveling down south yet again. He's Ecuadorian, so Brazil, Ecuador. It seems close, but it's a 5-hour flight. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily any home game for him. A lot of people go, oh, it's South America, oh, Europe, oh, UK. Like, they're all bunched together, but it's a different country. All right, let's hear it.
All right, let's hear this.
What you doing? Hey girl, where you going? Who's that girl? Who's that girl?
It's Danny.
Gotcha.
That's
the theme song for him and his roommates?
Wow.
Yeah, so if he tells any story, that has to be played before it. Otherwise, it's not allowed.
Yeah. So we got to do the Noob Minute or something today, right? To bring that back?
We can do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Jess is going to be with us, and she'll co-host, so we'll talk about, the pertinent topics in mixed martial arts. Of course, her career, not only her recent win, but everything that led up to that. In fact, let's start with that. What got you into MMA?
An ex-boyfriend took me to kickboxing. I was
the same one that talked you into the...
No, different one. There's been two.
Only two ever?
No. There's more than one.
Yeah.
I was powerlifting, and I saw like a story in the local newspaper about this other girl who was powerlifting and competing, and like, I'm really arrogant and really competitive, and I was like, oh, I can smash all her lifts, I'm gonna compete in this powerlifting comp. And then I had to like drop a few pounds for it because they still have weight classes, And so he took me to kickboxing. He's like, oh, it'll be fine. You'll be able to lose a bit of weight. And then for my first day, I was like, no, I'm never powerlifting again. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to kickbox. And
Were you sparring somebody, or was it just from punching the
No, it
bag
was
or
just
having
like
gloves on?
pads and stuff like that, and doing like partner drills. And
Wow.
yeah, and I'd been wanting to do it. Like, I'd been thinking about doing something like that for a while, because obviously, like, he was fighting kickboxing, so I'd watch him train and do stuff like that. And then when I finally went, like, the instructor, my very first coach, Ben, he came and he's like, oh, I think you'd be really good at this. And turns out I was.
How long were you into the powerlifting?
A couple of years. Like,
So if I say, hey, all of us, let's go play a round of golf, there's a chance you may become a golfer if you're pretty good at it. And the hell with MMA?
Maybe.
Wow, that's a complete pivot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a great story, though.
I've always done a bunch of different sports, but like I knew that MMA was kind of what I wanted to stick to, because it's what I have stuck to. Because everything else, like I'm super, like, not ADD, but I'm flighty. I get sidetracked and I get distracted and stuff like that. So like one day I'll be all about something, and then the next day I'll be all about something completely different.
Can I guess what other sports?
Yeah, go.
You want to do it? See who can name more between you and I. We each get 3 chances.
There's 3. Okay.
We each get.
Actually, no. There's 4.
4?
Yeah, there's 4.
You want to play, Dan? All right. We each get 3 chances. Ready? Who wants? Let's let Dan go first.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something that, like, what sports are different and whatnot.
Dan doesn't know much outside of MMA.
Yeah, I'm
going to say throwing.
I'm going to say volleyball.
Volleyball.
No. Okay. All right.
Can I go next, or you want to go next?
You can go next.
Rugby.
Close.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, damn.
All right.
I teed it up for you.
Turkish belt wrestling.
Wait.
Sorry. I was going to say Turkish belts.
That was my guess.
I mean,
it's
come
a
on,
form.
stupid. You don't. I just gave you the clue.
I don't want to say Australian rules because
it's definitely not that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
take it back.
I would have assumed that she would have told you.
She said it's close.
So I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. Maybe I'm dumb. But I'm going to go with what I was originally going to say, archery.
No. That's a good guess. I like that, but no.
Let's do the snake. All right, we went this way. Back to you. Well, I almost fell over.
No, she didn't really kill the sailor, by the way, if you're thinking archery. She was just kidding. Like,
I don't know if pirates were big archers.
Running.
Yes.
Yes.
I was a sprinter.
Kind of general, right? She could have been a sprinter, a hurdler, a cross-country runner, and just went running.
Long
I was
distance.
a sprinter.
Moving.
Never ever long
All right,
distance.
so we'll give him that one. I will go with surfing.
No.
Damn, I'm
terrified of the water.
Dan Tom?
Let's go with soccer. Footy. No.
That's a good one. All right, go again. Last one.
Okay, last one is going to be shit. Is any kind of a baseball or softball big out there?
Softball.
There we go. There we go. Bam.
So 1-1. This is my last chance to save face. I'm the one that created the contest. She said close to rugby, but she said not Australian rules when you kind of stuck that debate out there. It's almost like you got 4, right? 4 guesses there. But I'll go with... No, he did say archery. So lacrosse.
No. We don't have lacrosse.
Well, what the hell?
I
So
think
damn
that's a
close
very
to rugby,
American-
but isn't
Wow.
rugby. All right. Tell us at the end. Go ahead, Goes.
Wrestling?
No. No
All right.
combat sports.
We're terrible. what were the other sports?
Touch football, which is like rugby without the tackles.
Okay.
Touch
yeah.
football of American football or Australian rules football?
Australian. Not Australian rules of rugby. Rugby league, which is an Aussie rules one.
Oh, never even heard of that one.
Well, we've got rugby union, rugby league, and then AFL, which is the Australian rules. So
they just don't want the tackle.
Yeah.
It's just touch and
Yep.
you're down. You
Yep.
still do the scrums.
same rules. Yeah, just touch instead of tackle.
Oh, wow.
And basketball, surprisingly, because I'm super short, but I was really good at basketball in school.
You could shoot. You could dribble. What could you do?
I was very, very good on defense. I was very aggressive. I got in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to basketball games out here?
No, I've been wanting to.
George,
but
I've brought up
I
like 4 things to her this morning that she said
Hey,
she
I said
hasn't
yes
seen
to
a
this
good,
one.
a good show in Vegas yet.
She hasn't seen a good show.
What
yet?
shows have you seen?
I went to the Beatles one.
You didn't like that?
Well, I love
That's
the
a good
Beatles. I
show,
love the
man.
Beatles so much, and they just ruined so much of it for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then
No. We're going into this one. I've been to that 4 or 5 times.
Really?
I can't wait for someone to go. I've never been, and I go, I'll go with you.
He turned his chair.
What didn't you like about it?
It
They
just-
played a lot of the soundtrack.
yeah, I know, but I like the original Beatles before they started getting real psychedelic and stuff like that. So they use a lot of the later Beatles in that show, which is cool, but that's just not the Beatles that I like, you know. I like when they
Fair
were
response.
Quarrymen turning into the Beatles. Yeah, that was pretty much my biggest thing. Like, I went there going, oh, yeah, like, I'm going to see good 50s, early 60s Beatles, and then it was kind of their later years, which I'm just not into it, yeah.
What else have you seen?
There was one, what's it called? It was, like, really rude. It was really crass. Every time, like, the MC people, they were talking...
Absinthe?
It might, yeah, I think so.
At Caesar's Palace in the tent?
Yeah, I hated it.
Really?
I loved all the, like, the acrobatics and stuff like that was really cool, but it was too crass for me. Like, I didn't find any of that funny, like...
So we couldn't take her to see comedian Joey Diaz, right?
No.
Well, see, that's different. I like Joey Diaz, but it's like, I don't know, just their style of...
You and you are not here yet.
Yeah.
You're more here.
It's like, what do you think of oil? What do you think of water? I prefer oil.
Because he loves the water. You hate the water.
I
You're
hate the
terrified.
water.
She's bizarro you.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's the opposite
Although
of you.
we're on team bacon and eggs.
That's true.
All right.
We have
Yep.
that.
All right. So then you were powerlifting. We're circling back, and then you went and took a kickboxing class, and you immediately fell in love with just kickboxing. We can say, right?
Yes.
But you were an MMA fan at the time.
No.
Oh, you weren't.
I didn't even
know what
MMA
MMA was at the time.
No.
Okay. And so you just loved the punch and the kicks and something.
Yep.
And did you know there was some sort of a sport you could take that class outside of to compete in and become a professional athlete?
Well, so I was doing kickboxing at an MMA gym. So that was kind of my introduction to the sport of MMA because they had a lot of fighters out of that gym as well.
Any we know?
No.
Okay.
All local.
Smaller?
Yeah,
Got
yeah. So I kind of like... After like a few weeks, my coach was trying to convince me to do more of the MMA stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to grapple. Grappling sucks, you know. And I refused to do it. And then I fought kickboxing for him, and then from that first fight, I was like, done. I was hooked. Like that was all I wanted to do. I just wanted to fight. And then so I left and moved down to Sydney, because where I started was a really small town, and then I moved to Sydney, which obviously is one of the biggest cities in Australia, and started going to an MMA gym again fought kickboxing because I hated doing grappling, and then I don't think I grappled until after my first MMA fight, and then my coach finally, like, I won because of grappling in my first MMA fight. My coach was like, hey, maybe you should actually make an effort to wrestle and do jiu-jitsu, and yeah, so then that was kind of how I got pulled into MMA.
And then the eventual move to Vegas, how'd that come about? Were there pit stops along the way, or was it Australia to Vegas?
I kind of floated around Sydney. Like, I bounced between Sydney and Brisbane. And then I got contracted to Invicta, and I fought. My very first international fight was in Vegas at the Cosmopolitan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We've been wanting them to go back. That's a great venue.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was
You been to
amazing.
a concert there?
No.
Yeah, you have to go to a concert.
I'm sure there's plenty of things I should do in Vegas that I haven't done
No,
yet.
you know what's crazy about it?
What?
That is the venue.
The floor,
Yeah.
it gives. So it'd be like if you're standing on a bed. So when people start jumping up and down, it goes like this.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, I haven't been. So I fought at the Cosmopolitan, and then when I left, I met my current coach, John Wood, then because he had Jamie Moyle fighting on the same show, and we actually went to Syndicate to do a couple of training sessions while I was here. And then when I went back to Queensland, I was like, man, I want to go back to Vegas. I want to go back to
That's
Vegas.
Northeast Australia.
Like halfway down,
Okay.
but yeah, the East Coast. So Queensland is, the top state on the East Coast.
Remind me why I'm bringing that up, but go ahead.
Okay. And and I was always like, I want to go back to Vegas, and then kind of, I think it was 2 years or a year and a half, I went through a really bad breakup, and
This guy?
yeah,
Okay.
yep. And my manager now, Danny, he was just my friend, then he
The
wasn't
Rube,
managing me.
happy birthday.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
his birthday
happy
today.
birthday.
Oh, I didn't even know it was
Rubes.
his birthday until I spoke to him on the phone last night, and then I felt like a terrible person because I'm always telling everyone how amazing he is, and forgot his
No,
birthday.
it's okay. You're Australian.
Yeah.
So what you could say is I celebrated the day before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, happy birthday, Danny. So Danny and I had met when I fought in Japan. He was there for UFC Tokyo, and I met him. We just became really good friends, and he found out about my breakup and kind of all the details, like it was nasty. And he's like, I know that if you don't leave where you're at right now, you'll probably get back with him. You'll retire, because I'd been talking about retiring, and because of this guy. And he's like,
Oh, so he's a counselor. a friend and a counselor immediately.
Danny,
Yeah.
yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He so he paid for my flight to Vegas. He's like, come to Vegas and like we'll just go from there. Because I had I think 2 years on my visa through Invicta, and he's like, we'll just see what happens, and at least like you'll be out of that environment, and you know you can train and see what you want to do. And so I came to Vegas, and this was just going to be a pit stop, and I was going to go out to ATT in Florida, and then I went and trained with John Wood for 4 days and was like, no, I'm staying, and I just haven't left. And yeah, but it's because of Danny. Danny's the reason.
So you
I'm
met
here.
him in Tokyo, in Japan.
Yep.
And just in that night, he was able to comfort you because of the breakup,
Yep.
advise you to move to Vegas, and become your manager. Like all.
Well, so we didn't start working together until I think 4 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was managed by someone else, and I wasn't really happy with
That's a
them.
dude with a
and
big heart to do all that.
dude,
Yeah.
like he got me even before he started managing me. Like he got me really
Never even
good
bought
fights.
me a cup of coffee. I've known him for 5 years.
No, he's the best. He got me custom made gloves and everything. I love him. He's so great.
Yeah, he's one of the like the new. You know how there's the Monty Cox and Ken Pavias, and of course everybody knows about Ali and Audie and Brian Butler and all that. But there's new managers that are coming through. You know what I mean? And Danny's one that I've worked with to book other fighters as well.
Yeah.
His stable's growing. And
yeah, he's got a lot coming on as well.
I'm
but-
sure he's got fresh ideas of the way the game's evolved.
Yeah, and he's really like, he's so good at personalizing everything to each of us. You know what I mean? Like he knows me so well that I've never been able to like trust anyone with my career before until I met John Wood and until I met Danny. And now those two, I know that like I don't even need to give input to anything. They know exactly how I work and how I think, and I can trust them to make the right decisions for me. So it's cool. Like he takes so much stress off me. He's like getting me a bed sponsored and everything, like because I just
bed sponsored?
Yeah, because I just moved into my apartment and I haven't bought a bed yet because I'm waiting until I get my next fight when I know I have money coming back in, you know. So I'm like, oh Danny, I'm sleeping on the couch, you know, like let's find a sponsor. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna get you a bed. So
Firm? You going for the firm or you going for the
I like
the
firm.
memory foam? Or
no, I like firm.
Firm?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a big firm bed.
Is it one of those that you like, what's it called? You ever heard Kavita
But
and
like
Rich?
a
They go,
hospital bed?
I'm number 70.
Yeah,
and somebody
you
goes,
know,
I'm
like
number 80. Like
sleep number?
sleep number. Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
sleep number.
No, I don't need that.
'Cause
There's
I
only
need to
one
get
of
one
me.
too.
Like,
True.
yeah.
I need to get one too, and I'm listening to these commercials just to see what.
You want to get one of those?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go and try them because a good mattress is like
It's important.
it's like a car. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very very important. And as you get older, it means more. You know, it's more important. So I'm due for one, and I'm gonna really take the time to purchase.
Maybe you should
one.
get Danny to sponsor you.
Yeah.
I know.
I would be such an asshole if I got one of those beds that does that. I would just
Why is
play
that?
games. Like if you walked into my room and asked me a question, I would not answer until I went.
Like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You just rise up.
And you would have to wait for
Can I help
me to
you?
get into my position, and then I would answer your question.
Go
That's
on.
awesome. I love that.
How about if somebody's in your room and you're like I am now gonna go to bed, and you click the lights off and then you start to retreat.
Yeah, and you can't talk to me until I come back up.
I like
I'd have
that.
a lot of rules.
Put on the what do you call them? Eye patches.
Yeah.
Do you use eye patches?
I have before, yeah.
Have you?
Eye patches.
Yeah.
He's talking
Oh, no,
about
sorry,
Like
the
a mask.
The mask. Yeah, not a
Mask.
No,
patch.
that would trip me out too much.
You use them?
I have one. I don't use it.
I tried it once on a plane, and it actually helped. And I made a mental note to maybe buy some.
Mhm.
I should have just stole that pair.
I want to black out my
and
windows.
take it home and
That's what I would usually
try it.
do.
Because ever since Brad Tavares, you know Brad Tavares,
Yeah.
used middleweight, he turns off his phone when he sleeps.
See, that's really
He
smart.
never wants to be woken up. In fact, he doesn't like to be woken up like, hey, Brad, nothing.
Yeah.
And he likes to wake up on his own, but the phone won't do it for him, and he wants to. That's how much his sleep means to him.
Yeah.
So I've
That's
learned
really
a little
smart.
bit.
That's
off
what I
of
need
that.
to do. I was just telling him yesterday. My window to sleep was just like, you know, when someone calls you, the worst time to call is like right after a half hour you fell asleep.
Yeah.
You're in a deep enough state to wake up confused. You're like, where am I? And that happened, and I could not get back to sleep. So I was like,
It's important.
no sleep. Yeah, that's
You're going to black out your windows?
Well, I usually do that, but that's it's probably healthier to buy one of those shades and be like Kevin Spacey from the movie Seven and like black out my like a serial killer, which is my normal approach. So I probably should stop crapping on those things and maybe consider it.
Put tinfoil up, then you're protected from the aliens
Yes,
as well.
yeah, there we go.
Let's take this quick call, and then we got to do the breaks. We're a little bit behind on the
Forget that
breaks.
too.
Yes, Queensland. I have a feeling why I want to bring that up. Hal from Chicago. What's up, Hal? How you doing?
Good, man. About how much time I got?
As long as you want, man.
All right. Jessica, how you doing?
Hello.
Congratulations on your fight. I was there.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Who were you rooting for, Hal?
What
Paige
was,
or Jessica?
I was rooting for a good fight, which we got. And I'll be honest, I didn't have a dog in that race. But, you know, what were you thinking when she kept throwing that little switch kick about 18 times? You know, I mean, did you think something's wrong with her hand, or did you think she's just being really retarded right now? I mean, what were you thinking?
I don't know if you're allowed to say the R word.
Hal of all people.
I'm sorry.
Mentally
challenged.
challenged.
Was retarded. Sorry.
Honestly, like, I kind of already felt like she was a one-trick pony because she got that one knockout with it, because she was throwing it in the earlier rounds as well. So I didn't notice that her arm was hurt or anything like that. I was just like, oh, she threw it 1,000,000 times on Beck and then eventually one landed. So I just figured she was doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and really that it wasn't appropriate. My apologies. But listen,
I was joking.
2018 is starting off great for Jessica, starting off great for me. Everybody knows me as Mush, but now I have 2 straight dogs I've picked on the air, Stevens and Stipe. It's the year of the Bitcoin.
He's doing good, Hal. Hal's not a
One was Stipe. Who was the other?
Jeremy Stevens.
Jeremy
Flight
Stevens.
dog. It's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, no, still underdog.
But it's the year, man. It's the year of the Bitcoin. I want to send out a bat signal to all the new fans and some of the good callers out there who haven't called. You know, guys like characters, Tally from Texas. You know, Mike from Miami. Look at Jeffrey the other day. He called.
Wow.
That was great. You know, even though he came in like Leonard Garcia throwing wild hooks, and he just kept checking him with jabs like Cub Swanson. That was hilarious. But allow me to be like Dan Tom here, a.k.a. MMA analyst, a.k.a. the MMA analogist.
See? The outline?
The analogist.
Oh, okay.
The analogist.
And
The
I'll make an
analogist.
analogy. You know, calling is a little bit like fighting, and the same guys who call it all every day. I mean, their calls sometimes they get to be like round 5 of Stipe and Ngannou. You know what I mean? It's tough to be interesting every day. So let's get some of those callers in, which is why you guys are the best. Every day you're here 2 hours. So 2018 goes is in a medium. Gigi got a new leg. Jessica Rose Clark is looking like Mark Kerr with the ground pound. So let's make Junkie Nation great again, people. And good luck, Jessica. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Great call, Hal. Thank you.
Solid call, Hal.
All right, folks. We're going to take a break. And if you want to follow Hal, it's 866-522-2846. Also, when we come back, we got to talk to. So we got to get him before he heads on down there. You know the international fighters travel a little early. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back.
program.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
It's Super Bowl trivia on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Join Christopher Mad Dog Russo all week as the marquee will be giving away 4 trips to the Super Bowl, 2 tickets to the game, hotel accommodations, and an experience to remember for a lifetime. All you have to do is answer 4 Super Bowl trivia questions, and you'll be on your way. Super Bowl trivia starts daily at 3 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 82. All right, while Marlon gets situated, Marlon Vera,
He's ready.
We'll have him on. Okay, we'll bring him on in just a second. Queensland. If I'm not mistaken, just off the coast of Queensland is the box jellyfish.
Correct.
And if he stings you, you have about 2 minutes where it could attack the nervous system, and you could be, that's it. You could be done for. Therefore, every beach, if I'm not mistaken, contains some sort of a vinegar that you're supposed to pour that at least buys you time, and then, of course, you still seek out treatment. Then again, there are people that are a little bit bigger that can withstand a bite. It doesn't mean like you're automatically done for. You know, it's not like it's a wrap or anything like that.
You can't just pee?
You could pee as well. You could
I have a story about that for later. But
vinegar.
Yeah.
You've done that before, right?
I've been stung by a jellyfish, but not the box jellyfish. This was off the coast.
Pee on the jellies?
No. I didn't pee on myself.
I have a clip. I'll play it.
I don't care where I'm at. I don't care if I'm in the bathtub. I'd let 100 people line up and pee on me.
What on earth? When did I say that? Wow, I got God on that one. That's a good one.
I have been saving that for like 7 years. Yeah.
That's from 7 years ago?
Yeah, a really long time. I'm like, one day he's going to bring it up and somehow I'll be able to
The box jellyfish?
I don't remember what you did, but I cut some stuff up. But yeah.
That was good. All right. Unfortunately, we can't keep laughing at my expense because we have Marlon Vera on hold, and he will be traveling to Brazil for UFC Fight Night 125. He'll be facing, the Brazilians, they got like 6 names, Douglas Silva de Andrade. And this takes place on February 3rd. He joins us now on MMA Junkie Radio. What's up, Marlon? How you doing?
What's up, guys? I saw you guys were laughing a lot. You were having fun without me.
We're laughing because Goes just punked me right now. He put together some stuff that I said about people peeing on me, or I don't know what. So I'm sitting here with a tomato face, red face, and embarrassed.
You like that stuff?
No, I don't like that stuff. No one's ever peed on me. I do admit that I pee in the shower. I don't always have to pee in the in the toilet. But other than that, I'm just not a... You okay with it, Quagmire? Yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on, Marlon. Marlon, do you ever pee on your toes? Where's this going?
Oh, a lot of them.
No, a lot of athletes do that. Athletes pee on their toes because of fungi. It's like especially in the gym, and military personnel do that as well. So since we're sticking with peeing.
I do that by accident, not because of fungus.
What did you say?
By accident.
By accident. Okay, by accident. Anyway, all right. Douglas Silva de Andrade. Dude, how do you keep getting these overseas trips? I think we asked you, and you were done with those. Like, we got to get you stateside.
Well, I was like asking for fight in Texas or Orlando, and then it was like mid of January, and I was like, well, nobody's calling me for fight in Texas, nobody's calling for Orlando, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I figured it out something like, well, if these guys don't call me for fight in Texas or Orlando, that if I fight in Orlando, like my friends and family will go from Ecuador because it's like a 2-hour flight and it's not expensive, and like people from Ecuador go to Miami, like sometimes on the weekend for fun. So I was like, I figured it out. If I fight in Orlando, I will have like people cheering for me. I will have my family, my wife, my kids, but whatever. I don't receive the call, and I figured it out. Okay, I'm pretty sure nobody in the UFC roster is going to ask for fight in Brazil. So I tell my manager, hey, you know what? I'm tired of wait. So what about if you ask for Brazil? Guess what? I get that fight like in 2 hours.
Okay, so you just wanted to fight and be active.
Yeah, I want to fight. I want to be active. I'm coming off a loss. So I was like, no, it is what it is. When you're winning fights, you can ask for a little bit more. You lose one, you got to go back to the line and do what you have to do. And I was like, okay,
Gotcha.
Let's go to Brazil against another Brazilian with like 16 names. So let's do it.
How far is the flight from Ecuador to Brazil?
It's pretty damn far, but it's closer than from LAX. So, like, I think my dad is coming.
Nice.
My cousins. So I hope they can make it. They don't tell me nothing yet, but I'm pretty sure my dad will book a flight. He will go. At least my dad. But pretty far, and it's expensive as hell a ticket to Brazil.
Really?
And I don't know why, because, you know.
Maybe because it's the north of Brazil and you don't have to go through a major airport. That's all I can think of.
Probably, but it's really, like, my dad told me it was like almost 2,000.
That is a lot. All right, this is Marlon Vera that we're talking to. He's fighting Douglas Silva de Andrade on February 3rd at UFC Fight Night 125. The headline bout that night will be Lyoto Machida and Eric Anders. Goes, what do you have for Marlon Vera?
Marlon, I know the last fight didn't go your way, but are there any positives that you were able to take out of that fight?
Oh, well, there's a lot of these things, you know. I face a guy that everybody's most likely scared of him. He's a guy that finished people's in the first and the second round. I was able to take the punches. I was able to kind of like out-punch him because with the time going in the fight, he was getting weak and he was getting like worried about my striking. So I just figured out some things. I fucked it up because I get out of the game plan. So that's why when the fight was over, I'd say sorry to my coaches and everything because I won't say what I did wrong because it's what I would bring to this fight without getting out of the gameplay. But I learned a lot, you know. I take this loss as a man. I leave that loss in the cage, and after that, I just keep improving, and I will show that on next weekend that I improved, and I learned from that. And it was a fun fight. Like when they asked me to fight him, I was like, yes. And then they was like, oh wow, that's easy. Like 5 guys says not to the fight. I was like, well, I'm not those 5 guys. I'm better than those 5 guys, and I was trying to, you know, break in the top 10. But it is what it is. I learned. I'm still young. I'm 25 years old. So in this fight, I got no pressure. Like I don't feel like, oh, I lost one and need to win. I just feel I have to fight, and that's it. I learn and I get better from that.
You know, these rosters on UFC rosters is very, very deep. And when they give you an opponent, say like Douglas Silva, right away, do you know exactly who the opponent is and like what percentage do you know about the guy before you even get a chance to go and start looking at stuff?
Well, that's actually my job. I work for the Spanish broadcast, so most likely I know every single guy in the rooster. Like not using my weight class. Like I commentate the fights in Spanish, and I'm looking forward doing the English part soon because I feel my English is good enough. So when they said Douglas, I was like, okay, I know the guy. Broad Font, Cody Gibson. The Russian guy, I remember the name right now. I know the guy. I saw him fight before. He's like a generic version of Lineker. He comes forward, throw big punches, but there's difference. He's not Lineker, and I'm ready to go. Like when I saw my coach watching the clip, I was like, okay. I was looking to fight against Cody Gibson, so I figured it out. Cody Gibson is no longer in the UFC. He retired already, so I'm fighting Douglas Silva. So I was like, okay. I know the guy, he will punch hard. Like, I'm not dumb. If I go cocky, I'm dumb. He will knock me out with a big punch, but that's not me. I will be smart, and I will figure it out things from before. And to be honest, this training camp has been amazing. I have Russell down in the gym, Alex Perez. I got Joe Soto right now with me in the car. We're fighting the same night.
Joe Soto? You got Joe Soto in the car?
Yeah, right now we have a date. Stop.
We actually tried to book Joe Soto, and they go, oh, it doesn't work out for him. The times don't work out for him. All we have to do is hand him the phone. But anyway, I'm just messing around, Joe.
I thought I was going to get the doctors. I just got out. He's too busy and famous. You know that. He has a ready to the UFC.
Oh.
He's so glad inside the gym now.
Why are you going to the doctor? You still got that upper inner thigh rash, or did it go away?
All
right, just joking. All right, Marlon. So Douglas Silva is John Lineker. What do you call him? generic version? It's like he's Johnny Lineker Light or something like that? That cracks me up.
Well, I'm not trying to be offensive, but they fight similar. Like John Lineker is a bad motherfucker. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of the guy, but he's in my weight class. So, like, if you ask me, like, you will fight him again, I would tell you that probably, of course, right now, yeah, and I think I can finish him, but it is what it is. I won't fight him probably anymore. This is the UFC. And Douglas, he got a similar style. He won't look for many things and try to knock my head off. And, well, if you try to do something else, I'm like, I will be glad because, nobody wants to get punched that hard in the face. But when I see him fight, and I'm now starting to study his style, it's most likely similar. Like, he throws a jab, and after that is a bomb coming, and he throws big hooks, a couple low kicks, and then, if I'm not wrong, Lineker fight like that. Mm-hmm. But that's why I say a generic version because Lineker is a big name, he's in the top 10. He was close to fight for the title, then Dillashaw stopped him, so Lineker is a guy that is in the top, and I respect him for that.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Douglas, if I'm not wrong, he got a couple surgeries. That's why he's fighting like once a year or something like that. He lost to Rob Font last one. Rob Font is pretty talented. He's kind of like good striker, good everywhere, so I'm not trying to fight like that, but I think if I put together everything, I can beat Douglas, no problem.
Dan Tom, what do you have for Marlon Vera?
Marlon, I want to ask you more about the work in the production on the Spanish side of things. What exactly are your duties now, and what are the English side of the duties that you were speaking of that you want to eventually move over to?
Well, in the Spanish broadcast, I commentated fights in LA. Like, we're live. And we are like with the headsets commentating like what happened during the fights when they're live, and then we go live and then we talk about the fights a little bit. It's not like the Fox Sports broadcast that they can pick fights and everything. We're like more like commentating fights like what Joe Rogan do with John Anik or Dominic Cruz. And eventually my goal is to do the English part like what's his name?
Paul Felder?
The guy with Paul Felder. Like, I'm looking forward to those things because I study a lot about the sport, and before this job, I was already like studying for this. Like, I was trying to get to this point. So one day I went to make a UFC Now, like the show, and I was like, hey, I want to talk to the producer. I want to introduce myself. I want to tell who I am, and I want to tell him like just ask me questions about the UFC. Like, I like this job. This is what I want to do, and I really know about the sport. Like, I know who fight who, when, and everything. So I tell the guy, like, hey, my name is Marlon Vera. I would love to do the commentating. I don't know. Ask me any question about the UFC or make me a test. I got personality. I can talk in front of the camera. And you need to put me makeup. I'm already pretty.
That's awesome.
And then he told me, like, okay. He told me, like, okay, let me try you. And he tried me for one show. He told me, like, okay, you got to fix some things. And I also, I'm close to John Anik. I told him to give me some tips for the camera and everything, and I start from there. I feel good. I love to do that job, and it's like another dream come true for me. So that's hard work's pay off.
That's so awesome to hear, Marlon. Now, you kind of touched on it earlier in regards to the job, but now that you're having to do this job and putting in those time, calling the fights, watching fights play out, is this helping you as a martial artist? Is this helping you as far as your training goes?
Yeah, it helps me a lot because I got to study the fighters. I just don't have to be like, oh, he got punched in the face, because I don't have to talk about what people can see. I got to break down like how he punched him, how he do the footwork to get to his face, how he defend those things, how he change angles. So it's a little bit more deeper than people think. So like I sit down sometimes and I just start watching like 20 random fights in Fight Pass, and I listen to Joe Rogan, and that's my favorite guy to listen. And then I like how Dominic breaks down. I like how Paul Felder is getting into it. Like, he's getting good super fast. DC Cormier is, like George said, it's natural. Like, I like how he does. John Anik is amazing. And I also listen to the London people, like with John and Dan Hardy. Yeah. They have a different style. So I try to listen to everybody, and I just speak, good things from them. And then now John Smith from Bellator is now in the UFC. That's amazing because he's really good and he's really smart. So I just, listen to the best ones, and I'm looking forward to be next to them someday.
We got 1 more minute, Marlon, but we also have another co-host. It's Jessica Rose Clark. She just wanted to say hello or maybe has a question. We have about 1 minute. Jessica, what do you have for Marlon Vera?
What's up, dude?
Hey, Cheeto. So they asked me this question when I got here today. What did you have for breakfast today?
A couple of eggs with half a bread and avocado. It wasn't that much. It wasn't that fun, but
No
it was
bacon?
healthy for the weight cut.
Oh.
Not bacon for now. But now I have a question for you. What did you get for breakfast?
I had bacon, eggs, and toast.
That's a little better, but similar, girl.
Yeah. I just got that bacon.
All right, my man.
Hey, who got the best tattoos?
Me.
No, you done. I have the best.
Marlon, we got to let you go. We're up against the clock. Good luck with the rest of your camp. Safe travels to Brazil, and we will talk to you soon, man. Good luck against Douglas Silva de Andrade.
Cool, guys. I appreciate your time, and yes, congrats in your last fight. That was amazing, girl.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
See you, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, folks, we're going to take our last break. We're up against the clock. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back. And in the meantime, why don't you go give him a follow? It's at Cheeto Vera UFC.
Charm, compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device and then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel. And you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. We're right up against the clock right now. I'm just going to jibber jabber here for the next 90 seconds. We're going to take another break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more with our guest here in studio, Just Dog. J-Dog. No, I think we said we were going to go with
Dog.
Jesse Jess. I'm trying to get them all right. I think it was 5. Jesse Jess, J-Dog, Jessica, and Jessica Rose Clark.
And Jesse.
And Jesse. That's right.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
she's
The one that she wanted.
She wants the most, yeah.
The one that you
I
didn't
blew
say.
that. We'll talk a little bit more about Queensland, the box jellyfish. I'm not sure we're done with UFC 220 and Bellator 192. It took place. And, I'd like to get the final thoughts from the guys and the gal in regards to that and what we want going forward. Also, Bellator 193 is this week. Lorenz Larkin versus Fernando Gonzalez. A big battle of two guys that live in the Inland Empire out where Marlon Vera is at. So anybody that wants to go to Temecula, it's actually the nicest casino in California that I've ever seen. It's called Pachanga. Go out there, check it out. You'll have a good time. There's good food, great gambling hall, and, of course, fights. So stay close. We'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Jessica Rose Clark in the house.
Now everybody, have you heard? If you're in the game, then the stroke's the word. Don't take no rhyme, don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing, take your mind. Woo! Right hand out, give a firm handshake. Talk to me about that one big break. Got the ear pollution, both far and wide. Keep your contributions on your side.
Here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We have Jessica Rose Clark here in studio with us, co-hosting. We just hung up the phone with Marlon Vera. I plugged his Twitter, but I haven't plugged hers yet. It's at Miss Jessie Jess. So follow along with us. And also, if you have any questions for us or the guest co-host, call in and holler at us, 866-522-2846. She's coming off a win over Paige Van Zandt at UFC Fight Night 124. a few weeks ago was the first UFC card of the year. Huge win for her, and now we await the next fight booking. So, are you healthy? Could the matchmaker call you and say, how would you like to fight at so and so card, or do you need time off? Are you recovering? You know, like
I've just had a week off.
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
So you can fight again.
Yeah, I like to
Why
stay
didn't Perth
pretty
make
active.
sense then? Just a few weeks later.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess now really it's an overseas travel because you're living here.
It's like 24 hours worth of flying to go out to Perth.
And it's not really like where you're from. It's almost like the United States, East Coast,
side.
West Coast.
Yeah, for sure. I've never even been to Perth. Like I've never been to that side of the country in my entire life. But like it would have been really cool. Like they've got some really good local Aussies on there. But again, it's an international fight. Like I just had an international fight, I think like 61 days ago or something ridiculous. So I was pretty happy that they didn't book me for Perth just because like that travel's a killer.
Is West Coast, East Coast the same as like here in the United States? You know how East Coasters are dorks and us West Coasters are pretty damn cool.
Wow.
Is it similar like that?
No, I feel like the whole like coast of Australia, everyone's pretty similar, you know? Like Perth has got a massive surf culture over there, which is exactly the same as the East Coast. Like there's better surfing on the West Coast than what there is on the East Coast. Yeah.
And there's no box jellyfishes, right?
There's a lot of great white sharks though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where they all are.
What would you take your chances with?
Is it just
how common is the box jellyfish people getting stung?
Not that
is it
common.
on the news
like,
every day? No?
No. And like all the beaches that you go to, they have a stinger net. So it's kind of if you swim outside the stinger net, you're at risk. If you swim inside, you're pretty good. Whereas like the stinger net.
How far out is the stinger net?
I don't know. Feet. It's like 20 meters, whatever. So like enough to fit a decent amount of people in there. It's like a big square that comes off the beach.
Right.
Yeah, and then they'll have like a shark net further out. But
oh really?
Yeah, but like on
a net can stop a shark?
Not really. Like it's just a straight net to like stop them from swimming straight in, I guess. But like where I'm from in Queensland, on the beaches, they used to get shut down because of crocodiles all the time. Like the crocs are on the beaches.
Oh, for crying out loud!
They're there too?
Yeah.
Oh my
crocodiles.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's crocodiles in like all the rivers and the creeks, and then there's crocs on the beach too.
No.
Oh, I thought the crocodiles were more like a swamp thing.
No.
You could just be sunning yourself.
They're like the saltwater crocs or the estuarine crocodiles. They live at the mouth of the river, so like they breed where the ocean meets the rivers. So that's beach. Yeah.
Oh, beach. Okay. Earlier when you said beaches, it sounded like you said bitches.
Beaches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No.
And is the Western Australia, Eastern Australia, the accent, do they differ a lot? I
don't know. I actually don't know anyone from Western Australia.
Okay.
Everyone I know who's been to Western Australia is an East Sider. You know what I mean? They go over there. There's a lot of mines and stuff on the West Coast, so a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people go there for work. But I don't know. I know like Queensland has a slightly different accent to New South Wales, which is the next state down, but it's not like as different as the states in America get.
All right, give me a New South Wales accent.
I don't
imitate someone.
I can't imitate. It's just little things like Queenslanders, instead of saying like the word sure, as in oh yeah for sure,
right.
Queenslanders will say sure. Like it's just slight, yeah.
Little tweak.
Yeah, and like we say pool or school, and they'll say pill or school. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not that much different. It's not like the difference between a Cali accent and a Texan accent. Like it's not that extreme.
No, there is no Cali accent.
There is a Cali accent.
Just speak normal, and then there's
everyone else has accents.
Yeah. See, I'm still trying to figure out the difference between Kiwis and Aussies. Well, the only thing I can think of is New Zealanders. They kind of swallow their words more. Like they go like 6. Or like for 6 or something. They would probably sound like bitch or beach or whatever, right? They probably sound more closer to that.
They shorten it, and everything they say sounds like they're asking a question. So be like, oh, true, that was a really good session, eh? And then that was a Kiwi accent.
But like Ben from New Zealand, when he calls in, he's very. I can understand him with no problem.
He's on hold.
But is he? But then there's times when Lucas from New Zealand will go like, "Are they here?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I almost want to say bless you. Like, what was that? What was that noise that came out? And so his is just really, I don't know if it's just different parts of New Zealand or if.
But there's like Islander New Zealanders and white New Zealanders as well. So there's like the Maoris, which are like the Polynesians, which have a very different accent to what the white New Zealanders have too.
His accent's so jacked up that he spoke and you thought he sneezed?
Well, I didn't know what I didn't know if he. I don't know. I didn't know if he was in pain or if I should get him water. I just is that a question? Can you repeat that? What was that? You know, the wife too. Now the wife sounds really cool when she does it. What's her name again? Sorry, Lucas. I don't remember.
Hold on, Jamie.
Jamie, that's right. She sounds really cool when I chat with her. Very cheerful, and again, the accent is just lovely time. You know, and
lovely time, governor.
Yeah, something like I'm sounding more British. But what else did I want you to remind me of? Okay.
Queensland.
I got Queensland, the box jellyfish.
Get the long distance?
He's all right. Just 30 seconds. No, another minute, Ben. We'll get you on.
Ben, hang in there.
So here's what I'm thinking of. I don't know if Danny was hip to this or not, but I think it was a wise decision for her to be here for the 2 hours. Because we're slowly finding out stuff, right? And you know how we've been talking about promotion? How can fighters promote themselves better? When Stipe was on Joe Rogan, I learned a lot about him. When we're here, it's like fucking rapid fire because he talks so fast. You know, how's the fight gonna end? Who do you want that by? You know, and over there you can kind of like take your time a little bit, and that's why I like when the fighters come on and they co-host for 2 hours because we find out all kinds of information. Some stuff silly, some stuff's like wow, you never would have thought that or whatever. Wait till you hear what concert she's been to, by the way.
Oh my God,
I mean, like seriously.
People are gonna hate me even
managers,
more.
if you're listening, you know, I'm not saying we accept just every guest at the same time. Of course, you know, I say this a lot, and I know it sounds rude, but the UFC is like the NFL, you know, in a way, and the UFC houses most of the great fighters on the planet. Now, it doesn't mean that we're against Bellator or PFL or anyone else. It's just we can't accept everyone. But if your fighters are in town, reach out to us. We'll try to make it happen. Every fighter that's walked out of here has usually said 2 hours was fun, right?
Yeah.
Not one person has ever said, fuck you guys, you tricked me, that sucked. And the reason is because they know a lot was found out about them. But just in the 30 minutes that we were sitting here talking about, you know, all the different things, and she opened up a little bit, that was really, really, you know, good promotion. And I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad you're doing it following a win. I'm glad you did Ariel's show. You know what I mean? It's so important for these. Did I just spit? It's so important for these fighters to do it after their fight. You know what I mean? As well as before. Promote the fight, but do it afterwards. Because we're already talking about UFC 220 this week. Next week's the one in Brazil, or Charlotte this week.
Yeah.
The one after that is Brazil. Then we got Perth.
Turn the page.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and there's just new fighters, and it all turns over so quick. So if you don't capitalize when you're it, then you're just going to get lost. This also goes for fighters that are watching. Do a better job of promoting yourselves. All right, if you're sitting around waiting for the UFC to do it, and they didn't do it for the UFC heavyweight champion, many say, then do you think they're going to do it for you? You know what I mean? So start the ball rolling. Work with the UFC to see what you can do, you know. Ask the UFC, hey, can I host a viewing party? I've been really thinking about this, so that's why I'm on my soapbox.
Yeah.
Hey, this weekend is UFC 220 in Boston last weekend. But you know what? I'd like to host a viewing party. Can you guys put out some tweets?
That's really smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how can these fighters get their names out. Like, I learned a lot about you just here in these last 70 minutes that we've had you on. And obviously I saw your fight versus Paige Van Zandt, but I didn't know it was much about you at Invicta. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's going to stay with us because now that I know you're in Vegas, as long as you're having fun, I'm going to tell Daniel, hey, man, she was cool. We'd love to have her back in like 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love to talk as well. So
broaden her music selection maybe before you bring her back in. But aside from that,
what a beautiful start, man! The bacon and the eggs, talking dogs. We all love dogs.
Music.
Hey, I didn't hear about the 80s until I walked in.
She trains in the 80s music.
Yeah, we do all our pad work to 80s pop.
Yeah.
The Mad Max sold me. That's like a childhood favorite. The fact the dog. That's.
Yeah.
I'd be dressing up like Mad Max every year for Halloween if I.
So
had
okay, so for this last fight, I was trying to find like a Mad Max song to walk out to, but they're all like instrumental music, you know. So it was really hard. Like, there's songs that people have sung about Mad Max, but I don't think it had the same authenticity to it. So I was really disappointed.
What did you walk out to?
Pick your next song.
Can you pick my next song? I walked out to Foxy Lady by Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, we picked that. I usually walk out to Aussie music, but we picked that, I think, the day before the fight. Wood goes, he's like, hey, I think you should walk out to this because my nickname is the Heartbreaker, and it talks about being a heartbreaker. And I'm like, yeah, that's sick. And then I got so many messages after the fight going, man, your walkout music was awesome.
Nice.
I agree.
I take back what I said.
What were you gonna choose? Did you have something you
Well,
wanted?
the three of us could probably come up with a good one, right? For her to walk out to.
If you give me time.
Yeah.
Well, we've got time.
Well, the easy one,
No,
you said
I
the heartbreaker. When we were playing some Pat Benatar earlier.
Yeah.
That's always solid.
That's what I was
love me that
thinking as
one.
well as Pat Benatar,
got a
like
good
Bonnie
drum beat.
Tyler, yeah.
So there you go. That's my thing on promotion. We covered Queensland. Was there anything else? I think we're good. We'll move
Queensland
on.
was
We'll
about
move on.
box jellyfish. That's why you brought it up?
Yeah.
All right. Why does
Oh,
everything want to kill us in Australia?
And the blue ring
They do.
octopus as well is
Yeah,
dangerous. Stay
yep.
away from that guy.
Yep.
I would take
There's also,
jellyfish
like,
over
cone.
sharks, by the way. You said jellyfish or sharks? Is that what you said?
Oh
Which
yeah,
one?
jellyfish. Is
jellyfish all day.
I survived. Yeah, I survived Portuguese man of war, 5 of them. So I'll take that again.
5 of them?
What'd you
One
do?
arm. Yeah, yeah.
What?
What happened?
I don't think they're not as bad as the box jellyfish though, right?
Still.
Well, they can kill you if they get because they get to like a little hefty bag size Portuguese man of war. These were only about these size.
I've never even heard of that. What is that?
Sometimes we have in the beach in Hawaii, and they'll put up signs like Portuguese man of war warning. Like it's not as dangerous as Australia. Like, we don't have
Yeah.
all we have is like
Portuguese
sharks.
man of war.
Yeah, man of war.
And
Like
what is
man
it?
of war. It sounds like man of war, but it's like it looks like a little blue like cellophane bag. And it looks like floating blue like rubbish. It looks like a bunch of pollution, and you'll see them
fuck outta
floating.
here.
Yeah, like a bunch of pollution's floating in. Like oh shit, Portuguese man of war. Put up the signs, and they keep them at the lifeguard
So
stations.
what do they do? Sting or bite?
They wrap around you. So like it wraps. Like you can see some gnarly pictures online if you go over it. Mine thankfully was all 5 were on one arm, and I essentially was boogie boarding. And it was like you know how they use that first person cam where they're going down the water slide and you see the water slide, that whole view? It was like that, right? I'm on a boogie board, Sandy's Beach, favorite beach in Hawaii, shout out. And the water, like,
Sammy the Squid there.
the water crashes over my arm, and it's like my arm's naked, right? And the water crashes over, and as soon as the water washes over, all of a sudden there's like a bunch of bump, 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 bump. I'm like, what the hell? And then water hits over again, and then I crash. When I get up, they're gone, but I have a bunch of rings that are just inflamed and getting bigger on my arm, and that's why I said I had to go get
that.
That's,
Wow.
that's how Dan Tom got peed on for the first time, Junkie Nation.
Oh.
I was only
Nice
like
leaving it back.
only like 10. I was
Oh
only
my
like 10
God.
or 11, and yeah, as a sign. Luckily, me and my
All
cousin
right,
already
finish the story. So
me,
what happened
yeah, me and my
now?
cousin already dug a hole, thankfully, because we were playing, sandcastles. We had this deep hole dug, and I'm like, all right, if this is gonna go down, we couldn't find any frozen meat. I'm like, fuck this guy, you got to pee on me, man. So I jumped in the hole. This is degrading.
You weren't facing him, right?
No, I jumped in the hole. It might as well have been. I'm like, all right, I'm down here. You better aim good, and turn. Yeah, it was,
Some people pay a lot of money to be in that position.
I'm sure there was probably some creepy people watching in the retired
You
beach
could have been
house.
face down.
Dude, it was burning so bad. I was just like, if you could have told me that like anything.
And he's just Johnny on the spot. He's got pee ready to go at any moment.
He was laughing because to him he was just like I'm gonna have.
I can't pee right now.
I can pee right now.
Really?
I don't know. He was laughing at me because it was just degrading. But yeah, he shouldn't have been enjoying that. That's what the fuck's wrong with him, Michael. Man,
Wow.
come on, man.
Wow. All right, let's move on.
All right, moving on.
Let's talk to Ben in New Zealand. What's up, Ben? How you been?
Yeah, I've been bloody bonza, Gigi. You know these metal up to 30 meters in length?
What does?
30 meters worth of tentacle and poison.
What are we talking about, though? I missed the first part. Oh, those?
Yeah.
Your Portuguese man of war.
30 meters? You just had 5 of them on
I
you.
had the baby
So
ones.
those are
I was
little
lucky.
babies. Okay.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Oh, shit. Okay.
They still hurt like hell, but yeah.
And these can be located in off the coast of New Zealand?
Yeah, we got them off New Zealand and Australia. And the other thing is the tentacles can actually detach and like float around even after the jellyfish is dead.
Yeah.
And they still got the poison in them.
For crying out loud.
And this news was shared with you today, and so tomorrow you're moving? Is that how this is going to work?
Yeah, dude, that's... And where are they found? On your beaches as well?
Yeah, we have them. They wash up. Sometimes you'll go down the beach. There'll just be tons of them, like these little blue plastic bags, like Dan was talking about. We have these things we call them blue bottles, but they're basically the same thing. And you'll go down the beach, and there's a ton of them all over just above the tide line.
What happens if you get stung or wrapped around?
It just,
fatal?
I didn't die, but it was just burned like
it hurt.
worse than anything I've ever felt.
Okay, but you can't die.
No, it felt like it lasted like 2 or 3 days of the whole weekend. My arm felt trashed.
Wow. Okay. What's on your mind, brother?
I was going to ask Jess who were her inspirations or heroes in kickboxing and Muay Thai, and also when she first started becoming more aware of MMA and paying attention to MMA, who were the first MMA fighters that you became a fan of or inspired by, Jess?
In kickboxing, it was always Masato. I loved Masato from day one. When I first started watching MMA, was when like Megumi Fuji was still fighting. So her, I thought she was a gangster. And then Frankie Edgar and Dan Hardy have always been my two favorites, you know. But I started watching MMA around like the end of the Chuck Liddell era, and like when Chael and Anderson were fighting, that was when I first started. So I missed a lot. But like, yeah, Frankie and Dan Hardy were always my two favorites. I like strikers, you know. I like people who aren't afraid to kind of just stand there and strike.
Was it a particular fight of Dan Hardy's that first you first saw him? Yeah, this is one of my dudes.
Not really. I honestly, like, I'm so bad, there's no particular fight of anyone's that I can ever say that I loved, you know. It's just watching each time and seeing their style that's what hooks me. But I couldn't tell you any specifics about any fight that I've ever watched of anybody's, not even my own, you know.
Yeah, I think I've got a general sort of sense of most fighters as well. Although I was lucky enough to be in Brisbane in 2013 when Hunto fought Bigfoot, what they still call the greatest UFC heavyweight fight of all time, and that was insane. And just before that, we'd seen Shogun knock out. This was one of the most bittersweet moments of my being an MMA fan. Was James DeHuna, who I'd trained with, you know, and done seminars with, but Shogun was like this hero, and so like, who do you root for? And I was sucked seeing Jamie go down like that, but when Shogun climbed up on top of the cage and was in front of us and like roaring, it's like, oh shit, that's Shogun right there, man. I had goosebumps.
Yeah, man, and like losing to someone like Shogun, it's hard. Like, losing always sucks, but there's no shame in that. He's one of the greats.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was at that fight. I actually had to leave and go to work right before the main event, so I didn't get to see. Yeah, I didn't get to see Hunt Bigfoot.
Terrible
yeah.
luck. You couldn't call in, like,
nah.
car
I
battery
tried
like
so bad. I tried so hard.
Nothing?
I had to leave right before main event.
All right. Ben, thank you.
You're looking for more good Aussie walkout music, and I don't know if you're a fan of Nick Cave, but he's one of my favourite artists, not just from Australia, but from anywhere.
Yeah.
Nick Cave, and he's got an awesome song called
Nick Cave
Red
and the
Right
Bad
Hand.
Seeds, is that it?
I love that song, man. That'd be an awesome walkout song.
What song was it?
Red Right Hand.
I'm going to write it down. I'll
Can you
listen
find
to
that,
it.
Danny?
Sounds familiar.
Nick Cave and the Banshees?
Bad Seeds.
Bad Seeds? All right.
Nick Cave. Red Right... What?
Red
Right Hand.
Red Right Hand. I'm going to listen to it. Because I prefer to walk out to Aussie music.
Oh, that's it?
Yep. Yeah, that's it. That's Peaky Blinders.
So far, pretty cool.
Oh, I know this song.
Peaky Blinders.
That's the song right there?
The intro.
Yeah. That's pretty damn cool.
Red Right Hand. That's
You
good.
might have
Yeah, I like it.
Unless someone can top it with this whole Heartbreaker theme, then that's a pretty good one.
Oh, please come out to this. It'd be awesome.
It's pretty
Good
gangster.
song.
Ben, we got to move on. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, well done, Jason. Have a good one, guys.
See ya. Let's talk to Brandon in Louisville. What's up, Brandon?
Gentlemen, ladies, how are y'all doing today?
Great, how are
Good,
you?
thank you.
Doing good. Dan, you talked about the first time you've ever been peed on. Would you like to tell us a story about the last time it happened?
Jeez, listen, I was going to answer something even more inappropriate, so I'm just going to stop right there. But that'll happen on another off-topic Tuesday for you, Brandon. I'll have to wait. All right.
All right. So I've also been stung by a jellyfish. I think I was about 6, 7 years old, right in the groin. Wasn't one of these poisonous ones, I guess, but I've yet to be back in the ocean. That's some traumatizing shit right there.
It stings, man.
Right in the groin.
It's
like
right in the groin.
The side of the groin or the central groin?
No,
The twig of the berries, Brandon.
Just right before we get to that region.
These things wrap around.
Right there, right on the inner thigh.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're scratching, and it hurts, man.
Oh, that's where you got bit too?
I was a
Or
little
stung?
kid, yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, wow.
None of you guys got peed on?
No.
Hell no. I mean, no one thought of it, and I don't even know as a kid that I would have subscribed to that one.
All right, hopefully someone from Junkie Nation calls it to make me feel better. Sorry, go on, Brandon.
Brandon?
So just to wrap up on fighters and promotion and everything, I know Dan and Goes will be able to help me with this. As much as people hate to admit it, the UFC, MMA, and WWE Pro Wrestling cross some extremely similar lines. They sell the same thing. They sell entertainment. They sell violence. They sell sex a little bit. I mean, it is what it is in that regard. And as much promotion as we'll use the WWE, I mean, they try to give everybody something. They try to give them a gimmick. They try to say, hey, let's find a way for you to connect. But at the end of the day, it's on to that wrestler to make it work. It's on to the fighters to make that work. And no matter how much they do it, sometimes it's just not going to happen. You've got to be. They've got to be willing to do it themselves a little bit.
I agree.
Am I wrong in that?
No. I completely subscribe to that. It goes only if the UFC wasn't this juggernaut that it is. They can do without superstar. Superstar can retire on the spot. GSP, we may never see him again. UFC's not going to miss a beat. That's why. See, they took them a while to figure it out, but once they figured it out, they're like, wait a minute. If they want to help themselves, great, and we'll pay them. We're there to pay them. But if not, then we're just going to keep on trucking. Why? Because individually, they all step up and do a business transaction with the UFC. Okay, I'll fight her for this amount. You pay me the bonus if I win, blah, blah, blah. It's been set. Nobody's shaking it up until Conor started coming in and making a few demands. Others have now gone along with that. And so they, a little bit of the books have been opened, and that's why some salaries had to go up. That's why contracts had to be torn in the middle. You don't finish out the contract or wait to the fight before the contract. They've torn them and started over. Remember Kevin Lee? He just wanted $40,000 to fight Sage Northcutt, for crying out loud, and he just fought for a world title. And I could have sworn his pay was in the 200.
I think it was 200.
Yeah. So it just keeps moving up. But what did he do? He went out there and started promoting himself. Yeah, he got put out there, and that's why he's one of the guys that cried when he lost, because it stung him, man. He tried. He rallied. He put all of his chips in. It didn't work, but he faced it like a man, and that's why he keeps getting more fans, even the haters. He rolled the dice. He on himself. But imagine if it had worked. He could be possibly fighting Conor. Conor might be going, oh, no, I'll take that guy because him and I can make money. Conor recognized it early. It's just a business transaction is all that it is. But if you – and the money's there. We know they have the money. Now, I'll say this once again. If collectively all the fighters stand together and hold hands and say, until you renegotiate certain terms, the Reebok deal, this, that, whatever, then all of a sudden they'll have the leverage, the fighters. But when it's just one-on-one, they can go, well, we'll talk. And they just won't give you a contract, and guess what? The money starts running out. I think Nate Diaz is just sick of it because all of his chips are on Conor McGregor Part 3, and he just put something out yesterday. It looks like he wants to fight, and now Eddie Alvarez is calling him out. Kevin Lee's calling him out. He's not going to make what he made against Conor, but he'll make more than he used to because of Conor. But the money starts to run out, and you can't turn back the clock. You're no longer 31. You're no longer 32. You're no longer 33. And you start to run out. And the one thing the UFC has on their side is time. Yeah. So... Anyway, sorry, Brandon. I don't even know if you asked for all that unsolicited stuff, but great call. Thank you for sharing your peace story. Let's go to Dan in Oregon. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
What up, gentlemen? Yo, shout out to all the sickos in the YouTube chat. Johnny, Infamous, Ivan, Don, Knuckle Up, Synchronic, Westside, Newsroom, and your guys' favorite human moron.
Yes.
The human moron.
Human
All right.
moron. Isn't that a cool name, the human moron?
It seems very accurate.
Yeah.
Yo, and Jessica, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
Your first two fights in Invicta, you had a decision and then a split, and so you're moving in the right direction in terms of momentum.
Yep.
And you're looking at December. You got a new matchup. You're looking at getting your first win in Invicta. You're sitting here at the end of January, and you have 2 wins in the UFC now. How does that feel in your mind? Like, what's going through your head?
I was actually just thinking about that yesterday because I didn't do that well in Invicta. I felt like I was really undersized and underprepared for both of my fights.
That's when you were 35, right?
That was when I was at 35, yeah. And I kind of feel like all the losses that I had leading up to these last, like I'm on a 3-fight win streak now, but these last 2 wins in the UFC kind of feels like it's been the build-up, like all those losses, being an Invicta, not doing so great. Like, they weren't bad fights. I didn't get beat up or I didn't get bashed, but I just wasn't winning them. And it kind of feels like they needed to happen that way so that when I got here, when I got to the UFC, I could put on my best performances, and I've gained that confidence in my ability and the belief that this is where I deserve to be. So I was legitimately just thinking about that yesterday and how kind of everything seems to have worked perfectly and in the perfect fashion.
It's amazing to see, and you're just like a statement for all fighters to just always stay ready. Stay in good shape, be ready for that call because you never know when it's going to come. And you dropped something that I would love for you guys to touch on. A 24-hour flight to Perth, and Luke Rockhold is now way over in Florida. I was thinking he should go train for a week at AKA Thailand because I don't think these guys realize what flying to the other side of the world might do to them in the midst of right before a giant fight and in a huge weight cut that he has. So can you guys touch on that? Back to you guys, I'm out.
See it. Well, he actually fought Bisping in Australia once, so he's definitely familiar with the travel. And he's also been out there to promote the Bisping fight, then come back, then go back and fight Bisping. Remember when he chucked him out with a one-arm guillotine? And he also went out to do the photo ops and pre-fight with Whitaker. So I'm pretty sure he's familiar with that. He also accompanied Kane when Kane knocked out Nogueira. So he's got that down. As far as Thailand, his plan is to go to Thailand afterwards because Swick and all those guys are going to go support Rockhold. And then on the way back, they're all going to stop in Thailand. I actually caught Swick's podcast yesterday, and Luke Rockhold was on. But he won't have time to go down there before. I don't think what Dan's saying is wrong, though. Maybe
it can mess with you.
Start to come over, a few weeks earlier. You probably want to get it all done in one flight versus coming to San Jose, decompressing, going to Hawaii, decompressing, making your way down.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta get it over with. It'll take about 2-3 days, but he'll be all right. Let's do a commercial. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93. When we come back, we'll take more calls. 866-522-2846. We'll start off with DJ Tony from San Francisco. And if you want to follow him, again, I'll slow down this time. 866-522-2846. MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93. Jessica Rose Clark in the house.
This is such a great scene.
They can drink Mentos flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
SiriusXM Radio is giving our subscribers the chance to win an opportunity to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota for Super Bowl 52. One grand prize winner will receive a trip or two, including airfare, 3 nights hotel stay, and 2 tickets to Super Bowl 52 on February 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're a football fan, this is the ultimate prize. No additional purchases necessary, and for official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Super Bowl before today, January 24, 2018. The NFL entities, as defined in the official rules, have not offered or sponsored this sweepstakes in any way. We're joined by Jessica Rose Clark in studio here, coming off a big win over Paige Van Zant. We started down a road, but we didn't quite finish it. You're healthy, and you'll take a fight booking if they call.
Yes.
However, you haven't really told us who you'd like to fight. Give us 3 names if you don't want to just call someone out. Or, by all means, call someone out if you'd like to.
Well, I figure I'm ranked number 7 now. I'm the only person with 2 wins in the flyweight division. I feel like I should get a higher ranked opponent. There's only 3 girls in front of me who are coming off wins, which are Lauren, Alexis, and Nico. Lauren and I are managed by the same guy. We're both managed by Danny. I know he doesn't want me to fight her. Nico, I'm pretty sure that fight's not going to happen yet because there's like Sajara, there's Valentina, there's other girls who are ahead of me who probably deserve that fight before I do. So that leaves Alexis. I'll be down for Alexis. I think that'd be a good fight. She's a veteran. I've fought a lot of veterans before. I like her style. Her style matches up really well to mine. So that's why, yeah, that's kind of the name that I'm hoping for right now. Just going to see what they come back with.
You know, I think Sajara is next, right?
I think so as well. I think
unless Valentina starches, because she's fighting on that same card as Cheeto.
Yeah.
And if she looks great and talks up a good game, you never know, because she's been marketed as a great fighter.
But she still is coming off a loss, right? It's
at
her
bantamweight.
first. Yeah, but she's coming off a loss. It's her first fight at flyweight. I think they'll give her one more before they let her fight for the title.
So you could be that fight too.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And if not, Alexis, I like that. And if they do give it to Valentina, then Sajara is also an option along with. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So like, there's a few people. There's a few people there.
How long do you think you'll have to wait to get that news?
I don't know. I'm hoping in the next 4 months. I've only got 5 months worth of rent saved up, so.
What card would you like to fight on?
I don't even know what's coming up, to be honest.
Okay. Probably the soonest you could fight is what? Give me like a month. Start with that.
What month are we in now? January? Like April?
That's Brooklyn, New York on April 7th.
See, I'll be down for Brooklyn. I've never been to New York. I haven't, I went to Florida once, and I don't think that's a very good showing for the East Coast, so I would like to. I would like, no, because it looks.
Look at Colby over here.
Wait. So Florida, so Florida looks just like home. You know what I mean? So I went to Florida and I felt like I was back in Australia. So I don't feel like I've experienced the East Coast yet, you know? Nothing against Florida. It was awesome.
Want a taxi card, taxi cab driver to cuss you out.
Yeah.
Terrible
I want to
pizza.
hear that thick Brooklyn accent, Marky Mark style. Like, I love it.
Okay. All right. She saved herself.
We go to Boston. Yeah.
Nice. All
Anywhere
right.
on the East Coast would be cool.
Well, that one's starting to fill up. And that one's headlined by Habib and Tony. So some big...
I'm thinking about going to that card, not to fight, of course, but to eat, because there's really good food down there, too, for after the fight.
That's another reason why I want to go.
Look at that card, by the way.
Well, where would you go? What kind of food would you look for?
On the East Coast?
Yeah.
Probably pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pizza, like you always hear about New York style pizza.
I just gave Andre Fili a recommendation. I'll give you the same one.
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
Was it? Oh my God! No, it's not even coming to me. Roberta's in Brooklyn, right in Bushwick, right off the L stop, Melrose stop. It's right off the stop. It's actually been on I think Anthony Bourdain and some other guy might have visited on one of their TV shows.
Oh,
but
cool.
It's this little hidden. It's in this industrial side of Brooklyn where it doesn't look like there's any restaurants there, but they actually have their own garden that they grow all their stuff from up top, and then they have their old stuff.
Sick.
Yeah, it's legit.
Really cool.
It's super legit.
That card also has.
See, that looks amazing.
They're going to Rio de Janeiro in May, by the way.
Rio.
Gagey and Poirier fight. But they haven't given. That's on the 14th
What was that?
of April. Gagey and Poirier.
Oh, yeah.
But they haven't given a site. So far, UFC 224 has Ferguson and Habib, Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas, and Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Felice Herrig.
It's a good card.
I like that fight.
Yeah.
So, also rumored, Ali Aquinta and Paul Felder.
Yeah, I
fight.
heard that, yeah.
And Maribek Tazimov versus Evan Dunham. Not bad.
That's a good card.
Yeah. So that's a good one. And then the
That
following
would
week,
be a
there's
great one
another
to be
one.
on.
Yeah. Speaking of the ladies, what do you guys think? Did Joanna deserve the immediate rematch? You guys okay with that? I think we accepted it once Andrade got booked with Torres.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I could have gone either
way. She had
way,
a good reign, right?
A very
it
good
sucks
reign.
that she got stamped out so quick. Usually you want, if the champion puts up a fight, you're like, well, she deserves it. But it happened so quick. She got starched. I mean, who's the last champion that got starched and didn't get an immediate rematch? Jose Aldo. He had to go through Frankie Edgar.
And he had a long reign.
And he had a long reign. But this one gets...
That was also a different, like, that 145 was like, there was a lot of people deserving of that title fight. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple deserving of the title fight in strawweight, but Joanna was killing people, you know? And with all, like, with everything she's come out with after the fight about her weight cut and whatever, like, I feel like whether that was 100% accurate or not, that just makes it look better for her to get the immediate rematch. Because she can go, well, I wasn't performing my best. That's why this happened. Give me a chance to perform my best.
I actually went back and looked at embeddeds.
Okay.
And the first or second embedded, she actually is at a Polish restaurant. And she goes, the weight cut's good. It's as good as it's ever been. You know what I mean? When you come out up front and say that, but then post-fight, you're like, oh, it's my weight cut. You blame it on that. It doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
And I like Joanna. I just wish. I don't mind even her saying I'm still the champion. And it's all that mental stuff. Ronda said the same thing when she lost to Holm. I'm still the champ. No, you're not. But whatever. If that's what you want to say, that's fine. I feel like it's taking away from the other. Because when Ronda lost to, Misha was willing to shake her hand. When Carla lost to Joanna, I'm sure there was some sportsmanship there, knowing Carla as well. You have to do that for the new champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a responsibility. It may not be that night, but at some point you got to sit down, face the music, and just go, she beat me, she's the champ. Once you say that, you're more than welcome to say, but in the next fight, I'm going to kick her ass. Then you can start turning it on. It's a new campaign at that point.
She's a little bit of a gangster, though.
She is a little bit of a gangster, but that's too much, man. Like, it was the worst weight cut ever, but days before, this is the best weight cut ever.
Well, I did see an article.
It's like a little bit of too much.
Yeah, I did see an article yesterday about her where she was like, oh, my weight was on track. And then we started fight week and my weight went up. Which I get that because I've experienced the exact same thing, where I thought I had 10 pounds to cut and it turned out it was 15 because my body just retained a bunch of water for no reason, So, like, she said she was on track to make weight, which would make sense with her embedded thing.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't hold that either because I think, if anything, that's being honest for her after the fact to say it was on track leading up. And I only have super limited experience with cutting weight, but I will tell you, some of the hardest ones were the ones I thought I was most prepared on. And I'm not even a female, where there's a whole nother list that females have to deal with. So I'm not too quick to touch that one. As far as her getting the title shot, though, I have no issues with that. My only thing is what we're talking about is the weight cut. That's my only concern because that's just seeing that footage and just knowing what these fighters go through for that and seeing it. It's tough, man. And my only concern is that she's healthy. If she's healthy, give her the shot. As far as the meritocracy part of it, does she deserve it? That's all fine. I don't care. I'm more worried, is she healthy to be competing in this weight class still, So hopefully she has that figured out as best she can.
Maybe it's a bunch of these things. It's because I was a huge fan of Joanna and still am, right?
Yeah.
But it was the weight cut's the greatest or the best one ever, and then afterwards it's not. I'm still the champion. It's like no credit being given here. I'm still it. They're to blame for this. I mean, I think it can contribute to a big fall off the cliff if she doesn't recognize some responsibility. I mean, Rose was spot on. There weren't lucky punches. That was just a great game plan.
Yeah.
And she did it 2 times. It's not like you go one punch like Conor and Jose. I mean, it was repeatedly. She was landing. She was executing a game plan that was established, and you just have to give credit to that.
Yeah,
now that said, Joanna's the favorite going into the
270,
second
right?
fight. The odds were released. So who knows? You can never figure this sport out. DJ Tony from San Francisco. What's up, Tony? How you doing?
God damn, you guys! 23 minutes to get on. Gentlemen, as the great Michael Squints Palladorus once said,
Hurry up, guys. My clothes are going out of style. Hey, listen, guys, aren't we missing, look that up, Sandlot, kids.
Yes, Tony.
By the way, aren't we missing the most
Tony,
important
kisses
song
for
here?
you.
Good Lord, where's my lightsaber? Hello. Guys, aren't we missing the most important song? Listen, as the great and honorable Rick Springfield once sang, who, by the way, is an Aussie, Jesse is a friend. Jesse is a good friend of mine. Shouldn't that be her walkout song?
Yeah, but Jesse is a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through
Jesse
this
is a
early on.
boy in that song. Unless
but
it's
no
about
one's
a
gonna mistake
lesbian
you for a
called
boy.
Jesse, but I'm pretty sure Jesse's a
No,
dude.
no one's going to mistake you for a boy. That's for damn sure. All right,
Thank you.
I got 3 more, Jesse. Jess. These are all Aussies, by the way. The Divinyls, Boys in Town, and of course, Max Q, who is Michael Hutchins, The Way of the World. And Dan, Tom, I have one last one for you. How about this?
Slow down, Tony. Slow down.
In excess,
You could have sworn he said
Don't
there's
change.
3, and then he said
Then he
1,
gave
and all of a
us
sudden.
28.
All right, so Michael Hutchins, I like him. So what happened here?
so Michael Hutchins did a solo project. It's called Max Q.
Okay.
And the song is called The Way of the World. That song's bitchin'.
Now these are songs that you're recommending for Jess to possibly walk out to.
Correct. If you don't listen to a DJ whose job is to pump up the crowd, you're missing the case. Hey, no offense
I'm writing
to
him
Nick
down.
Cage.
Yes,
Relax.
she is. But
I'm writing him.
That's number 1. What was number 2?
Number 2 is probably the walkout song. It's the Divinyls, Boys in Town.
Okay, that's number 2. She's writing it
Yeah. Man, I've been in too many Aussie pubs to ever walk out to that song.
down. Okay, what's the third one?
And the third one is In Excess, Don't Change, because she doesn't change for anybody.
Oh, I like that. That's cute.
I like that song.
I'm going to listen to all of them, except for the Divinyls. I know that song. I'm going to listen to the other 2.
Can you play that one, Don't Change, Danny, on commercial break or something?
Long intro, though.
See, that's the thing. There's so many really cool songs. Oh, I love this song.
It wouldn't be bad.
This would actually be
Let's
pretty
take
cool.
a while, though, huh?
So then what you got to do is you got to be in the tunnel, and you got to do one of those, like...
I'll like do a mantra, a little meditation.
And then right here, you look in the camera and start smiling, and then boom,
See, I
start
couldn't
sprinting.
because I get so excited. I'm like,
a fast walk.
you gotta let me out. You gotta let me out now. Like I can't. I couldn't do
That's
the
all
meditation
showmanship.
thing.
You can do it. You can do it. And I'm gonna give you another trick when we come back from break. Tony, anything else on your call? Are you good?
Yeah, one last thing. Water challenge. So shout out for those that want to continue to urinate on Dan Tom's leg, which of course doesn't do anything but aggravate the venom.
Oh
my God! Are the greatest, Jesse, your beauty.
Thank you. I love you.
See you, Tony. All right. So you better add him now, right, on Facebook. All right, folks. We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, I will give Jess a nice tip that I picked up from other fighters that really, really gets the crowd going. I mean, we got the nickname going. We got music possibilities. But there's one other thing that fighters can do when they walk into the octagon that I believe the crowd.
I'm not taking off my pants. All right.
No. It's like a magnetic attraction. We'll be right back after this break.
We're on?
Yeah. All right, we're on commercial break here with Sirius XM. That's Don't Change by NXS. We'll let it play a little bit lower there in the background. Wanted to give some shout outs to those of us, or those of you in the Facebook chat. Jamie McGovern says Jesse Jess is cute.
Yay, thank you.
Greg DeBrum says, "What's up, G? Have a great day. God bless." Martin Stabilo's laughing his ass off. He's
Back
from
in.
Hawaii. Danny Okers. Thanks, Tony. I think he's shouting out Tony Palidio. Jesse Jess is smooth on air. That comes from Tony. Phil Edelstein says, "Sup, guys? Hey, Jesse." William Bowles says,
Sorry.
I think it's William Bowles, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
William Bowles says, "Jessica Rose, Jesse, Jess, J-Dog." You got a lot of fans.
At least
Lazarus Ingham says, "Aussie slang." Akib Awan says, "Hi, Erica." That's to Erica in the chat. Ibis Hov says, "Hey, good evening."
Ibis Hog?
Yeah. Was it a wizard?
Ramundo Martin says, "We rollin'." Gustavo Martinez says, "Tell Jesse JR." Tell Jesse JR said, "What's up?" You know what JR?
Really? Oh, who? Wait, who
or
was
a junior
it?
maybe?
Who was it?
It was somebody named Gustavo Martinez.
Oh, yeah. I train his son sometimes.
Okay, it's a JR junior.
JR.
All right. All right, back from break.
Man, I'm learning so much from you.
Hey, idiot! Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device. Then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel. You will wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. Jessica Rose Clark in studio here with us, coming off a big win over Paige Van Zandt at UFC St. Louis, a.k.a. UFC Fight Night 125. She fights out of the Syndicate Gym here in Las Vegas under the tutelage of John Wood. 9-4 overall, 3-fight win streak, fighting in the flyweight division. Says either, give me the names again, Sajara Eubanks,
Lauren.
Lauren Murphy.
Yep.
And who's the other
Alexis
name?
Davis.
Alexis Davis.
Yeah.
And then there was one more.
Nico.
Oh, and possibly Valentina.
Yeah, Valentina.
Yeah, Nico Montano is the world champion there. But she's down to do it with any of them. And April 7th, she would welcome that. Sean Shelby McMaynard, if you're listening, she will fight at the Barclays in Brooklyn under that main card of Habib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson, which, by the way, I'm hearing is now for the undisputed title. It's just officially Conor hasn't been stripped, but it will be for the undisputed title, it sounds like. A couple notes here. What Tony brought up with the water challenge is him and I have a challenge, and if anybody wants to join, we're only going to drink water. You can eat whatever you want, but you can only drink water, and we'll see how that goes. It's more of a mental thing, but it will also help you lose weight, because why drink your calories?
Yeah, he was kidding about the last part of that water challenge, too, by the way, Junkie Nation. Do not micturate on me. Thank you.
Airdyne goes, you were pointing at it. You were just asking me if I'm going to buy an Airdyne bike.
Yeah.
You
I was
want
saying
one?
no. Well, I was trying to tell you that's part of what killed me yesterday.
Oh, the Airdyne.
I'll tell you a funny story. So what you don't know this, but most of Junkie Nation knows this. I tore my patellar tendon, so I have this long rehab coming. Right, I can now walk without a limp at times. Sometimes the knee swells up, and I go to Extreme Couture to start my personal physical therapy with Jeremy.
Jeremy Haas, yeah.
Jeremy Haas, right.
Jay Haas.
I have been working. This injury is really hard to come back from, so the first thing we needed to do was mobility. I do that at Select Physical Therapy here in Las Vegas. A lady named Janelle, great lady, and now the knee's a little bit stronger and more stable. Now I'm doing strength with Jeremy and mobility with her. I thought we were just going to like, hi, I'm George. Hi, I'm Jeremy. This is the plan. Why don't you ride the bike and get on out of here? We'll start next week or something. And I didn't even eat a lunch that day, right?
Uh-huh.
Dude, I cannot describe. This guy's a monster. He went after me, man. Squats, lunges, balance. I was shaking. And, of course, there's all these MMA fighters around, you know, the occasional fist bump. So I had to put the tough guy act. But dude, I wanted to climb in that little bathtub, the ice water one.
Oh, no, you don't.
But put on warm water and just lay there, man. My leg was shaking, right? And then at the end, he goes, hop on the bike just to loosen things up. And somebody was on the bike. So I go to the other side, and there's an Airdyne. That's the machine where you can...
The worst machine in the world.
Yeah, your arms are moving
Your
as well.
arms are moving forward.
Just doing
and
that.
it's more of a metal type of, like an old school bike. It's not one of the smooth.
It's like wind powered.
Tour de France ones, exactly. So here's what was the worst part. Because of my knee, I have to be careful when I get on things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get on, dude. Look, I was trying to get on a horse. Except this horse wasn't moving, which would help my case, because if a horse is moving, it's tougher to do. I couldn't get on it, and I'm trying this. My shirt's going up. My belly's hanging out. I'm looking like an idiot in front of many people. Finally, I get on there. I almost hurt my knee. Then I get on there, and I'm doing this. Dude, it was tough, man. I walked out of there. It was so cold. I was a joke.
Yeah.
I was a joke, man. And
that bike sucks, though, doesn't it?
So 4 times my knee's gone like this. If this was my knee, like that.
Buckle?
Coming down the steps here at Mandalay Bay and at home, like just in the last 24 hours.
Damn.
So I wrote him, I go, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And he says, it's not a bad thing. The ligament's going to hold up. But he goes, just let's take it easy. So I think he may have recognized that it may have been too much or whatever.
You know, you got to do with Jeremy. I had him for my ACL, my concussion rehab. You gotta, if you need a break, just ask him a question, because he's really smart and like he's really good at explaining things.
He
You
is
notice
sharp.
he's really sharp.
He is sharp.
But he's also, they'll take a bit to explain it. You can get that extra breath and like, oh. Well,
I was out of breath for sure. We were doing a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to be a. I know there's a lady present, but there's no other word. I didn't want to be a pussy on day one, so I was trying to man up, and that was my problem. I could have went with baby. Sorry,
yeah. I was a baby this morning.
Were you? You had to work out today?
I had to work out yesterday, but I was late, and because I was late, it was taken out on me. And this morning, when my trunk opened up to get my bag, I could not reach up to pull it back down.
You really had to ask someone?
I had to ask somebody to pull it down for me.
A
And she
male
was
or female?
kind of a female. She
She's
was
probably
kind of
thinking you're gonna throw.
Yeah, like Buffalo Bill.
I tried, like I stood to the
You
side.
size 4.
I stood to the side, you know. But she did have.
You put this lotion in the basket.
Yeah.
Plus, there were people
About a
around.
size 4.
Wow.
Yeah, but this is as high as I can go right now.
Was she a great big fat person? Yeah, that was kind of creepy. She did it though.
Yeah,
that's a line from the movie, folks. I'm not.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
That's what he says. Is she a great big fat person?
Go catch up on a great
Have you
film
seen that
there.
movie?
Which one?
Sounds of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah.
You
I've
like
read
it?
the book. I've seen little bits of the movie, but I read the book.
Great movie. It's a
I actually
classic.
went to
Nobody
buy it
has ever
yesterday.
said that in the history of life. You read the book, but you haven't seen the movie?
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Oh, you gotta go back and see the movie.
You have to see it today.
I almost bought it yesterday. Maybe I'll go buy it today.
Really?
I went and bought the Mad Max trilogy instead, but I might go back and buy it today.
Can we tell everybody the concerts you've been to?
Sure. Do you want me to tell people, or are you telling people?
We're running out of time.
Are
I
we
just
gonna do
noticed.
OT or not?
Can you do 2 or 3 minutes of overtime?
Yeah, of
Because we're
course.
supposed to end right now.
I'll go know where to go.
All right. So, Showtime from Tennessee. We'll take your call, and then we'll reveal the movies that Jess has seen. Which
wanna
really,
go out to one of those
not the
songs.
movies, the concerts. That shocked me, honestly.
It would shock anyone.
I want to thank Marlon Vera for his time, and a big shout out to Ed Cap for lining that one up. I want to thank Daniel Rubenstein for lining up Jessica Rose Clark. Big shout out to him, and it's his birthday, so again, happy birthday to him. So, SiriusXM audience, you guys, if you ever missed any part of the show, you can catch us on the SiriusXM app, commercial free and in HD quality. Of course, you can always go to facebook.com/official MMA Junkie or youtube.com/MMA Junkie video, and you can catch that overtime that we're always doing. Either one. Catch either one. We are going to bounce out here, and we'll come back in about 30 seconds. It's just a soft exit for our SiriusXM audience. You'll get more combat sports and entertainment headed your way. The rest of you, hang around. We'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93.
All you need is strong heart and a new steel. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-armed bandits crashing all those hopes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again.
You guys play for overtime?
People are still guessing that whole owner of the theft thing. It's kind of funny. All right, so 3 things. Her concerts. You'll never guess, so we're just going to tell you. Tell the audience, Jess.
Miley Cyrus and Nickelback.
Those are the only 2 concerts she's ever been to in her life. She's not 8 years old, by the way.
I'm 30.
She's 30 years old. You've only been to 2
I've
concerts.
only
That's
been
just
to
not
2.
your thing,
I went to Nickelback when I was 19, and I went to Miley Cyrus when I was 26.
Just concerts aren't your thing.
No, not really.
Don't ask you to go.
Like, you can ask me to go, but I'm going to say no.
Like, if friends have an extra ticket, you're just...
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
What is it like about it that where you just go, fuck, A concert? Come on now. I don't do that.
You asked the wrong question.
Was
the right question is, what is it about Miley Cyrus and Nickelback that made you overcome whatever the hell that was? To go and do
Well,
that?
I went to Nickelback with my mom, and I loved Nickelback. At the time, in my late teens, I was a big Nickelback fan. I'm not ashamed of that. My coach Casey, my jiu-jitsu coach, is also a Nickelback fan, so that's how we have our kinship.
I would have thought the late teens would have been the Miley Cyrus phase. But
No, my late 20s were Miley Cyrus. I was living with my best friend and her boyfriend, and we had like this little girl group. There were 4 of us. We called ourselves the Flamingos. Yeah, we just used to get drunk and make cupcakes all the time. It was the best.
Is that like the pink ladies from Greece, but the flamingos?
Pretty much, we were the Flamingos. So like, they still send me flamingo stuff all the time now that I live here in Vegas. There's Nickelback. Yeah, and so we all loved Miley Cyrus, so we all went to Miley Cyrus, and I was 100% the oldest person in that venue. But it was amazing. I loved every minute of it.
So to be in the Flamingos, you have to get drunk and make a cupcake?
Make cupcakes.
That's the easiest
That's
game
what we
to
used to
get
do.
jumped
It's just
into.
like we just get drunk at home, like we drink champagne and wine and just make cupcakes. And
you love to work out to 80s music, right?
Yes.
But you don't like to go to 80s concerts?
Well, I can't because we're in 2018. You mean
No,
80s?
no. I'll give you an example. Duran was here about 2 weeks ago.
You thought he was going to say, you're right.
No, I
Was
like.
she clowning me or is she?
I don't know.
Is she off over there?
I think she might be on.
I don't have a time machine.
I think she expected you to go, holy shit, it is 2018.
Yeah, no, like Duran was just here. Like, I'm an 80s kid, so I came this close to go on, but the tickets are too much. But when you hear, because this is sports entertainment, or sorry, just an entertainment capital of the world, one of them. So there's so many of those bands that come through here. You never go, oh, Depeche Mode or Duran.
No, no, not at all. Like, I just don't like concerts. The only thing that I've 100% wanted to go here, and I was devastated when they left the week before I was going to go.
Britney Spears.
No.
Oh, she's 90s anyway.
No.
Who? The guessing game?
Do you guess?
They were here for a week?
Pet Shop
No,
Boys?
no, no. They were here for a long time.
80s?
But this is 50s, okay? They were here for a long time. And then the week I was going to go, they left. They finished their show here the week before, yeah. It's a musical.
The Frankie
Valley, Jersey Boys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was devastated. I've been waiting for so long. They were here for years. Because when I was here in 2015 for my fight, I was like, I want to go to Jersey Boys. And I couldn't afford it. So then I moved out here and I'm like, I want to go to Jersey Boys. And then we organised to go on the week before they finished.
How long have you lived here?
A year and a half.
Billy Idol's good too.
Yeah?
If he ever comes back. He comes here to the House of Blues, which is right next to us. He puts on a good show. But again, you're a fan of working out to it, but you're not big on concerts.
No, I'm not big on
So I'll
concerts.
drop
I just
it
don't
then.
like being in crowds. Is it like I get really sick. I'm a bubble girl. I have a lot of allergies, and when I'm around a lot of people and like smoke machines, I always end up sick for a few days. So it's like not worth it. I'd rather sit at home and eat.
Okay, here's
What
the
about a
tip.
mask?
I could, but
Like
I'm not
the
Asian.
Japanese?
Yeah.
Or Sub-Zero.
Or Sub-Zero. I could go dressed as Sub-Zero.
There you go.
That was good. Oh, here's the tip. After you already have a killer nickname,
Yeah.
find a song or some songs, whether you rotate them or whatever, you're on the right path. After you go into the Harley Davidson prep point and they put on the Vaseline
Yep.
and you do the hugs and they check you for the mouthpiece and all that, go up the steps. And when you go up, turn around and wait about a second and then go, yeah, and watch the roar of the crowd. At that moment in time, if people showed up, they were Paige Van Zandt fans, they'll root for her.
Yeah.
If they're Jessica Rose Clark fans, they'll root for you. But if they just came going, who are these chicks? They will root for you because of that one
Yeah.
moment. It's magnetic.
I like that.
And Uriah Faber does it well.
Yeah.
Vanderlei Silva does it well. There's a few fighters that do it, but those two do it really, really
Yeah.
well. They go up the steps, and then they turn around, and sometimes they'll just hit their legs, and they'll just look, and then they'll go like that. Even if it's just that area of the crowd, and watch the roar that you'll get.
That's cool. I'm gonna
Now,
do
it doesn't
that.
work if you're on Fight Pass and the stadium's only got 300 people in it. But as your career progresses, because those are some big names that you're talking
Man,
about.
I know I'm
Alexis and all
failing
that.
if I go back to Fight Pass now. Like I'm
Yeah,
doing something
watch
wrong.
when you get on these big fight cards and you do that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's cool. I really
now
like that.
It all has to do with, again, the music, the nickname, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you walk in there, and that's how you gain fans.
I love that.
And the
Thank
last
you.
thing is Showtime, and then we'll get out of here. Showtime from Tennessee. What's up, Showtime? It's yo time.
What's up, fellas?
What up?
And
What's up, man?
Cutie Pie J.
Cutie Pie J, I like that.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. I have a good friend of mine that lives in, how do you pronounce it? Brisbane?
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yeah.
Okay, and she went to a place called Black Butt. Is that how you pronounce that too? Black Butt?
Called what?
Black Butt?
Hotel Ratner in Black Butt.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's where they went for
Google
New
it.
Year's.
Quick, we're going to Google it right
Careful
now.
Google that goes.
Yeah, I don't know if I
You
want
might
this on my
have to
shirt, on
sift
my
through a
search.
couple
BLACK and then BUTT, Black Butt.
You sure it's not like Black Butte?
Yeah. It'd be pronounced that way, but I looked at it and thought it was Black Butt.
Oh.
Hotel.
Black Butt Queensland.
I have never been there. I've never even heard of that place.
Nicki Minaj came up on my Google. What?
Oh my goodness.
Y'all funny.
Yeah, so I would call that Black Butt. Man, I want to go there.
Did y'all find it?
Yeah, we found it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's where they went for New Year's. I wanted to call in because I didn't know if where you live, because I know she always say Queens Island and
Queensland.
Brisbane, so I didn't know if that was just Queensland. Yeah. So I didn't know how far that was, but.
Well, Queensland is, it's like to drive from the bottom of the state up to the top is like 36 hours. It's huge. So like even on the Australian map, if it looks really close, it's
That's like
usually
California.
pretty far. Yeah, it's massive.
San Diego all the way to the Oregon is about 18 hours.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
36 hours?
36 hours, yeah.
What are you on, skateboard? Shouldn't be that
For
long.
real, it is.
36
to drive,
hours?
yeah. From the
I
top,
don't
from the
know.
bottom
I
to the
may
top.
Google that.
Because from here to about here is like 18.
You sure?
Yeah, because we used to
Okay.
drive it all the time.
I think you have a valid case for a Google.
Google it.
This is what happens.
I could-
If you're wrong, you got to get him Chipotle. If he's wrong, he's got to get you Chipotle.
I'll get you Chipotle. I'm
That
broke.
works.
All right. So give me
You're gonna have to. Can I rain check
Give me a
it?
city in the
Can I
low-
pay you off?
Give me a city in the lowest part of Queensland.
Okay, let's go. Wait, let's Google. So go Byron Bay. Can I use this Google?
Yeah.
Byron Bay.
BYRON.
BYRON. To
Northmost point of Australia. Oh, I can't even spell my own country right. Go Cape York Peninsula.
How do you spell that?
Cape York?
Cape.
Oh, Cape York.
Yeah, I have an accent. I'm sorry. Peninsula. What does it say?
The travel distance is holy shit, 49 hours.
Oh!
Yes! Thank you. I was still wrong, but
Burn. See, I got you Chipotle.
yeah. I've never had Chipotle.
No?
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, Australia is huge. Sorry, it's further to travel from East Coast to West Coast in Australia than it is from East Coast to West Coast in America.
Wow.
That's why it's the largest island. But
You learn a lot. All right, wrap up. Showtime. Anything else?
Hey, she said something that I wanted to get her to say, and she said it. I wanted to hear her say here.
Here.
I like how they say here.
Here.
I like
that.
Here. Hey guys, great show, and I'm a big fan of yours, and I wish you much.
Thank you. But do you have
Thanks,
anything
man.
for Jesse?
Huh?
I said thank you for that. But do you have anything for Jesse?
Yeah, that's what I was telling her. I'm a big fan of her.
Okay.
Thank you,
I wish her
Showtime.
much-
All right, Showtime. Thank you very much for the call. All right, folks, we are out of here. Tomorrow we will link up with Joe Soto. I'm already calling it. I know I'll be able to get him on the show. Joe Soto will be a guest of ours. And, of course, check the front page of MMA Junkie every morning. You'll know who's on the guest list. Thank you again to Jessica Rose Clark for her time, Marlon Vera for his time. Marlon can be followed on Twitter at Cheeto Vera UFC. Jessica can be followed on Twitter at Miss Jessie Jess. Jessica, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for
Congrats on
having
your
me.
win, and may you get an awesome fight going forward. That was a very key win for you, honestly.
Yes.
So I think 2018 could shape up really nice, maybe even a title shot.
That would be nice.
Yep. All right, folks, we are out of here. For Danny, Dan, Goes, Jesse, I'm George. Go out there and be a champion.
Woo!